Hey everyone, Prison Joey here, and today we're going to be setting up muOS Jacaranda. Jacaranda? It's a popular custom firmware available for a ton of different devices. For those of you that have watched my previous muOS setup guides, a lot of today will be along the same lines, but I do a new video with every new major release. You should check the pinned comments before starting, as that's where I'm going to leave any updates to today's video. If you're wondering what's new, there's a lot. They've added a bunch of overlays. They're all hardware injected, so there's no performance loss with using them. That means on-screen brightness, low battery, volume, all of it. There is a new DVD bounce type screensaver for the front end for when you're trying to take a picture of the front end for Reddit and you're taking a little bit too long. Content sorting is a bit different now. All of it has been rearranged and different. They have muOS, news built in now, so that you can get muOS news directly onto the device. There is activity tracking finally, so you can get detailed stats on what you've been playing and for how long. They've also made it easier to restore RetroArch configuration files if you've broken something. And the list goes on and on. The full list of supported devices is on their website, but it generally is the H700 lineup of Anbernics, and the TrimUI Brick and TrimUI Smart Pro. For today, I'll be using my Anbernic RG Cube XX, since that's my preferred muOS device. First things first, for those of you that are already using muOS, and I'm going to limit this to those of you that are on Canada Goose or newer, if you're on an older version than that, you want to do a fresh install. For Canada Goose and newer, those using 2 SD cards, let's back up all of your stuff. Head to Config and then Storage Options. If you followed one of my previous guides and you set this all to SD2, then you're set. Nothing you need to do. All your data is on your second SD card. If you didn't, go one by one, push X to sync to SD2 until they are all moved over to your second SD card. If you're using one SD card, back out and head to Device Backup. Push X to toggle all to make sure they all say included, then head to the bottom and choose Start Backup. This is going to take some time. Once done, you want to connect your SD card to your PC, and you need to copy your ROMs folder to your PC to back those games up. Then head inside of the backup folder, and you want to copy the MustardOS full backup file to your PC as well. Okay, that covers backing up things for existing muOS users. Let's go ahead and install muOS Jacaranda for everybody now. For new users, if you have a 2 SD card device, I would suggest that you use 2 SD cards, as it does make updating muOS easy in the future. A 32GB or 64GB SD card for the operating system, and whatever size for the ROM card works. I usually use 128 or 256 for the ROM card. If you want to use one SD card, you can. I'll be showing both ways. Lastly, you will need a USB SD card reader. All of this is linked in the description if you need it. Let's grab the latest release from the muOS website. Everything, again, is linked in the description. Go ahead and download from Mega. Usually has less issues than GoFile. You're going to see a bunch of images. You're going to want to find your device's model in the file name, and then download that one. So for me, it is RG Cube XX. We're also going to need a program called Rufus. That helps us flash the image to the SD card. And you can grab that from the Rufus website. The portable version is fine. Open Rufus, make sure the device listed is your connected SD card to the PC, the operating system card if you are doing 2 SD cards, then click Select and choose the image you downloaded from the muOS website. Then click Start to let it do its thing. When it's done, for users that were already using 2 SD cards, keep the second card in, and now insert this card into the OS slot of your device and turn it on. For anybody doing a brand new install, keep your second card out still. You can adjust your date and time here or language, but I just choose install. Date and time can get updated later via Wi-Fi automatically. One quick note, over my time doing this in the last 3 years, 99% of the time that people have issues flashing operating systems to SD cards is because they're using their laptop SD card reader, and for some reason, it breaks things. So if you have issues flashing the SD card and this isn't working, you have to go and buy a USB SD card reader and use that, like the one that I showed before. Don't ask me why this is a thing, I just know over years of helping people that this is a thing. While that's happening, for those that are doing a brand new install and want to use 2 SD cards, we can format that card. Otherwise, 1 card users and existing 2 card users can skip this step. So new users, go ahead and connect your second SD card to the PC and open Rufus. Make sure the device is your SD card, then choose non-bootable for boot selection, and make sure the file system is exFAT. You can give the volume a name if you want, like muOS, and then click Start. When it's done, you can eject. Wait for the device to finish doing the setup it was doing, and make sure that you shut down after that. At this point, everybody should have all of their SD cards inside, including brand new card users, and we can turn on the device. Head to Config and then Storage, and for any 2 card users, check to see if it says SD2 or SD1 here. If it says SD1, go one by one and push X to migrate them to SD2. This puts all of our data on the second SD card. That way, the next time there is an muOS update, it'll be very easy for you to just keep everything and update, and it won't delete anything. Going forward, for 2 SD card users, anything that I talk about will be on your second SD card, so you can safely ignore your first SD card unless I bring it up. Shut down the device after you've done all of that and put your SD card into the PC. For those that backed things up earlier, it's time to restore them. Copy your ROMs to the root of the SD card, overwriting what's there. That brings all of your games back. Then, copy that mustardOS full backup file from your PC to the archive folder. For new users, the ROMs folder is where you want to put your ROMs, and you can name the folders in here anything that you want. So I just copied all of my ROMs over from my PC, and you can see how I have them named. But it doesn't matter here. You can name the system folders anything. Whatever is easiest for you to remember what's inside. GB, GBC, GBA, whatever it is, they all go in here. And then inside of those system folders, you would put all of your ROMs for that system, of course. For BIOS files, they go inside of the muOS BIOS folder. So you can see that I just copied and pasted all of my BIOS files into this folder. If you're confused as to what ROMs and BIOS files are, I have videos on that subject in the description. But ROMs are games, BIOS files are system files, and they are required for CD-based systems like PlayStation 1, Sega CD, Sega Dreamcast, and so on. They won't work properly without BIOS files. Once you're done all of that, eject your SD card, put it back into the device, and turn it on. For those of you that did a device backup, let's go and restore your stuff. Head to Applications, Archive Manager, and you should see your backup file here. Just push A to start the restore process. Alright, and at this point we can do a tour of muOS. Head to Explore Content, and this is where your games are and where you launch them from. You should see all of your system folders here. If you push X on any of them, you can see what emulator or core they're using for that system. So for Game Boy Advance, we're using MGBA, and we can change that by going in and changing it to another core if we want to, like GPSP. But I would leave all of this as default. You do want to make sure that each system does have a core or emulator set though. So just check each system for it, and if it's missing, add one. If you head into a system folder, there is all of your games. You can do the same thing here by pushing X to change an emulator or core on a per game basis if you need to. Don't worry about artwork just yet, we'll be adding that later. If you push Y, you can add games to a collection for easier browsing. I have a Pokemon collection already, and you can push Y to create a new one if you want, or you can just put your games inside of an existing collection. Back out to the main menu, and you'll see collections are here right in the main menu, and that's where you can easily launch those games if you want to. Back out again, and this time you'll see history, and this will just list all of your last played games, and you can launch them easily from here. Back out and head into applications, and there's a few things here you should know about. Dingux Commander is a built-in file manager if you want to use it. RGB controller is useful to handle the RGBs on your device if it has it, but let's open RetroArch. RetroArch is fully locked down on muOS. You can't make any changes. However, one thing we can do is enter our retro achievements information. So if you head to settings and then achievements, you can log in here with your retro achievements credentials. We haven't connected to Wi-Fi just yet, so they won't work just yet, but that's the only change we can make. For advanced users that want to make a lot of changes to RetroArch, I'll show you how to open that up later on. Make sure to head back to main menu in RetroArch, configuration file, save current configuration to save your changes here for your achievements to actually work. Back out now and into configuration. Then head into general settings. If you jump into date and time, you can go and update your date and time here. I remember this being automatic in muOS, but for some reason I could not find that setting, so I might be missing it. But anyways, just update your date and time here. Let's go to advanced settings. Scroll down to RetroArch Network Wait, and if you're using Retro Achievements, enable this. It's going to wait for the network to connect before loading a game. It's insanely useful. Right under that is RetroArch Config Freedom. If you really want to edit RetroArch and you know what you're doing, you can enable this to do so. But I wouldn't suggest this for anybody that has no idea how to use RetroArch. Lastly, if you scroll down, there's Device Rumble, and if you want that, you can enable it. Back out and you can adjust the brightness and volume here, or you can use a hotkey of menu plus the volume keys to adjust the brightness, which is easier. Lastly, you can set where the device loads on startup, so if you wanted to go right into the last game you were playing, you can set that, or wherever you want to be. Back out and now into connectivity, and then into Wi-Fi network. Push X to scan for your Wi-Fi and then connect to it with your password. Push connect to connect. One thing I do want to point out here, and it's a special tip, once again for Retro Achievements users, if you know how to set up a static IP, I would suggest doing that instead of DHCP. DHCP can take about 30 seconds or so to launch into a game and all of that if you have RetroArch Network Wait enabled. But if you have static IP, it's like 3 seconds or so. So it's beneficial to do that. Just a small tip. Back out and into web services, and if you want to use a web browser on your PC to manage files on muOS, enable SFTP. Or if you want to use SyncThing, enable SyncThing. I have a guide on my site for SyncThing for muOS. Back out and into customization. Let's head into Theme Picker, and then Theme Download. Once that's done, you're going to see a whole list of available themes for your device. Just push on whatever you want, and you can use it. Back out and into interface options. I like to enable network so that I can see the icon top right and if I'm connected. Back out and color options will let you adjust the screen colors. Overlay options lets you adjust the overlay items. Power settings lets you adjust the power settings. But you don't really need to make any changes to those, so that's really it. Let's back out. Let's go ahead and launch a game by finding one in Explore Content, and boom, we're in. Just make sure it's a RetroArch game. Let's talk about the hotkeys that are available to you for RetroArch at least, which are all on muOS's website. Menu plus X is the RetroArch menu. Menu plus Start will exit a RetroArch game. Menu plus R1 will fast forward. They still won't switch this to R2, like normal humans. Menu plus R2 is save state. I don't know who taught these guys hotkeys, but oh my. Menu plus L2 is load state. Lord save me please. Menu plus Y is show FPS. That's good enough. Alright, as promised, last for today is artwork scraping, and we need to use a program called Scrappy to do it. Go ahead and connect your SD card to the PC. And first, let's make sure that you don't have an existing Scrappy already downloaded. Go into muOS, and then the Applications folder, and if you see a Scrappy folder here, delete it. That'll give us a fresh start. 2 SD card users should check both SD cards for this. Then, let's grab the latest release from the Scrappy GitHub, linked in the description. We want the MUX app that does not say update in the file name. Download it and make sure that you put it inside of the archive folder on your SD card. Safely eject, pop the SD card back into your device, and turn it on. Head to the Applications tab and then Archive Manager, push A on Scrappy to install it. Back in Applications, scroll down, and you can now open Scrappy. You can adjust what your scrape looks like. I like Epic Gradient, so I'm going to use that. Then you can choose what to scrape. It is our first time, so we can do Scrape All. Head down and into Advanced Tools, and in the future, you can update Scrappy right from here if you need to. Head back and push Select, and now you want to enter your Screen Scraper username and password, or you're going to hit some limits. Just register on the Screen Scraper website, linked in the description, and then use those credentials here, and then save. Scroll down, and I would highly suggest that you do one system at a time, because scraping can take a long time. So just uncheck all, and then choose one system, and let's go with that. Push Select to head back, and now scroll up, and click Start Scraping to start it. And that's going to be it for today. Enjoy your games. The muOS website, forums, and their Discord would be the best spots for you to troubleshoot any issues that you have. Don't forget to like and sub to help the channel grow. Come join me on the Discord to talk all about retro handhelds. Support me through YouTube membership if you like my stuff. And hope you all have a good one.